All right, time for our political look ahead. And while federal Conservative leader Andrew Scheer has been highly critical of the carbon tax and other policies aimed at fighting climate change, he has yet to release any formal plans of his own. But Scheer says that's going to change come this summer. So what can you expect? Here for a look at that story and more is the Globe and Mail's Laura Stone. Good to have you back.
Great to be here, Anne-Marie.
All right, we know Scheer is aiming to unveil, as he said, this plan come summertime. But given that he's been so critical of various environmental issues of the past, he's painted himself into a bit of a corner here. So how can he release a plan without stepping on any measures that he's already criticized?
Well, the Liberals obviously feel that Andrew Scheer is very vulnerable on this issue, and that's why you saw Environment Minister Catherine McKenna out yesterday criticizing Andrew Scheer, saying, oh, it's been a year since he said he would release his plan, and as the days go on, it does make it seem like the Conservatives are stalling or they don't know which direction they're going to go in. Andrew Scheer has also aligned himself quite closely with Jason Kenney and Doug Ford, Alberta and Ontario's premiers, who of course are opposed to the carbon tax. What Andrew Scheer has done, though, he has framed this as an economic issue, right? He has said the carbon tax is not an environmental plan, it's a high tax plan. So he's kind of painted this narrative. I think you'll expect from his own plan a mix of incentives and regulations for big emitters, but he has said that he won't be proposing a carbon tax. The other question for him as well is, will his party meet the Paris targets? And he's been quite wishy-washy on this issue.
Yeah, being pressed on, is Canada going to be able to maintain its leadership role in having, sort of a green outlook on things?
Exactly, but Andrew Scheer and other Conservative politicians, their point is basically on the world stage, Canada has done enough. Canada has done its part, and a carbon tax and other Liberal measures are actually hurting Canadian industry. So he has painted himself more on the economic side of things.
All right, still looking ahead to the seasons to come with summertime. We've got just 7 weeks to go before Parliament adjourns ahead of the fall federal election. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh laying out 3 major policies that he needs to put forward. He's got a lot of work to do over the summer. Affordable housing, free pharmacare, and a Canadian version of the U.S. Green New Deal. But will his vision contrast enough with what the Liberals and the Greens have already said in order to make him really stand out?
Well, Jagmeet Singh is playing catch-up here. I mean, it took him so long to get into the House of Commons. He's kind of an unknown entity. And you mentioned the Green Party. I mean, they're kind of skyrocketing here on the progressive side of things. I think there is room for progressive votes in Canada. I think the Liberals have let a lot of those progressive leaders down in terms of their position on pipelines, corporate interests, and you can see the NDP tapping into this. But their poll numbers are still pretty stagnant, and we do see the Green Party rising. So that will be the major challenge for Jagmeet Singh, is that he is facing opposition on the progressive side of things as well.
All right, a new poll conducted by the Environics Institute found most Canadians believe the most important problems facing the country are the economy, the environment, and leadership. This was a surprising number given recent headlines. Only 3% reported immigration or refugees. So with that in mind, why is the border becoming such an election issue?
Well, I think it was a year ago, Anne-Marie. I'm not sure that it is now, right? And we saw the Liberals change their tone recently on the border. They've taken a much harder line on this issue after heavily criticizing the Conservatives on the border issue. Now we know that they're going to try to negotiate with the United States to make the border, to make it easier to turn people away at the border. And they've gotten some criticism from international groups on this. But I think if a year ago we all thought the border would play a bigger role in the election, I think now it's turning into more of the economy and climate change and other issues. And we do see this split along party lines as well, that the Liberals and the Conservatives are both talking to their own supporters on this issue, but people's minds aren't exactly wavering on it.
All right, Laura Stone, thanks. Good to have you here today.
Thank you so much.